What's good, y'all? Welcome to my review for this week's episode of Sword Art Online Alicization. First up, allow me to apologize for the delay of this review. Yes, both TG and SAO ended up getting delayed. Well, I already talked about why TG was delayed, but SAO, for one, Takeover was yesterday, and I also had some homework. I had this essay that I'm finally finished. I finally finished this essay that I've been working on for pretty much the last week. It's finally done. Thank fuck. So I was working on that. So I was like, no, let me just. And since Tsunami wasn't happening this week, I was like, you know what? Let me just hold it off until Sunday. Which of course, today was Sunday was Survivor Series. I meant to do this a little bit earlier, but yesterday Survivor Series got in the way of it. So apologies again, guys. But here it finally is. Sorry again, guys, for the delay. But enough of me apologizing. Let's talk about this episode because, in all honesty, it was actually really damn good. I would say it's definitely the best, and it's probably after we had a 3-episode streak of phenomenal 10 out of 10 ratings. I got this one was definitely a lot back to the first couple episodes, more slow pace, a lot more character development, more introducing characters, more internal monologues with Kirito. I did enjoy it, but after those last 3 episodes, it's kind of going back to the slower pace stuff is, I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, let's get to it. So he starts it off. We got usual trying to wake up our boy Kieran. Like any game, the man is still sleeping when it's bright daylight, probably noon by this time, and our boy is still sleeping. So he's trying to wake him up. He's like, this lady's just like, Kirito, I know it's our day off, but you sleep way too damn much, and just pulls the covers off of him, and he's like, ugh. Come on, Yuzo. So then we just see them kind of walking down the street, and we learned a lot. Actually, we learned while Kira's munching down. We found out that it's actually been 2 years since we last saw them. When we last saw Kirito and Yuzo a few episodes back. So, which as we learned last week, I think it was about a week that transpires the actual real world transpires as a year in the world of Alicization. So I was first wait, what? It's been 2 years? What? But of course, it makes sense because so I guess that means Kirito's been up here for about 2 weeks now, at least. So it kind of makes me wonder, how long was the time frame between Kirito actually getting, when Kirito was taken to when Austin actually found him and everything? So was it about a week? Austin was kind of waiting before she figured out that Kirito was missing, or I don't know. It's kind of so what the hell's the time frame of the real life? Anyway, so they're still walking. This one girl says Kirito, and we see, which at first I legit thought this girl was like Zelda, from the Legend of Zelda, because she legit dresses just like her. Her dress looks almost it's pretty much very similar to, I think, Zelda's outfit in, I believe, Twilight Princess, I think it was. Which I first thought that was Zelda, but now it's just it's pretty much Kirito's actual mentor. Shit, what the hell was her name? It'll come back to me later. So he's always good morning, and so she's asking, and Kirito asks her so what brings you out here? She's like, I was going on my way home, but my parents asked me to grab some stuff, so here we go. And usually actually offers to help her out, being you need some help with those bags, and she says, aren't you Balto's page? Which I assume when they say page, I'm assuming they mean apprentice. That's assuming what I mean. I don't know why they just say page instead of apprentice, but whatever. And he says, aren't you Balto's page? And he's like, oh, sorry, forgive me, I was out of line. I'm like, what? Is there a law or somewhere one guy, an apprentice of somebody, cannot help out another mentor? What? And she says, if anything, you should be the one that's asking to help carry my bag. He's like, oh, shit. It says, nah, don't worry, I'm good. We also find out they're actually graduating tomorrow, so I'm guessing they're going up, to the next grade level. They're in the Swordcraft Academy. So they're about to graduation. And Kirito talks he's actually a nervous wreck around her when they spar, which is very telling about her strength. Because we've seen Kirito be in some hellacious battles, and I don't even think against Yui he was even nervous when he was fighting. I mean, I'm pretty sure he said he held back when he fought Yui back in season 2. So I guess that means she's also stronger than Austin, but granted, we've never really seen Kirito and Austin like actually spar or anything, so I'm curious where her script, where her like skill level is compared to Austin now, since she was probably definitely the second best player in SAO. So I'm curious if like we'll ever see a fight between these two to see like who's stronger. But if Kirito's a nervous wreck around her, that's me telling about her power level. And Yuji also says that, even Balto, he also has tons of drive. He actually hasn't scored a point against him, and neither has Kirito. Our boy Kirito has not gotten a point out of his mentor. He hasn't gotten a hit or whatever they mean by point. He hasn't won. Which means A, Kirito is actually holding back really hard from going just full out, which we have seen him done in the past, or B, she is legit just that strong. Which it kind of makes it looks like Kirito might actually have been holding back most of this time from a conversation they have later on in the episode, but we'll get to that when we get it. So then, and there's one thing I love about this arc and this about this overall adaptation. I love how A1 has gone back and add a lot more narration from Kirito, because I think there might have been we had a couple narrations here and there in season 1, season 2 of SCA, but not to the extent of this. Where I'm really digging this because which that does explain why a lot of people probably do not like SCOs, because anime Joey the Anime, you guys probably all know him. We all know that we already know what he thinks SCA. We all know he doesn't like it, but he's actually said that while he doesn't like the anime, he actually does like the light novel, which should tell you how much there was indeed cut out. Which apparently I haven't read the light novels myself, but apparently a lot of it was just narrations from Kirito that just explain certain events and just probably give the book probably just a more as everything come together, probably a lot more, and probably a lot of the flaws people did have with that still are probably mitigated through the light novels, because A1 decided to cut those parts out. That's what I'm assuming was cut out. So I'm glad A1 has gone back and added all this narration where he's pretty much against Kirito's mind, while he's thinking this current moment. Most of it is done for exposition of what Kirito does, thinking so far in the world of Alicization, what's his thought process. So I do like these little moments where we just get inside Kirito's head and he's just thinking over whatever the hell is going on in this current moment. So Kyuji says, good night, Kirito, and he's like, yeah, good night, turns off the light, and then we're pretty much get Kirito where he thinks about what information Kirito has gathered about Alicization in the 2 years since we last saw him, or I guess 2 weeks, or whatever the case may be, since we last saw Kirito. So after he sets everything up, he states that once again that he's learned that the mechanics of this world, at least what he's learned these past years, cannot be measured in a simple numeric term alone. And he says that there are only 3 things that you can see on your status screen: your life bar, your object control authority, and your system control authority. With your life is your life, and that's obvious. Your system control, your object control authority is pretty much like your level. Like in a game like Dark Souls, I'm pretty sure that instead if you wield a higher or a heavier weapon, when the level of your character or the weight or the strength of your character does not meet that sword's level to wield it properly, you would swing it around at a snail's pace. Compared to if you were a higher level, you could wield it just like nothing else. He says that if a sword's level is much higher than a sword's object control level is much higher than yours, it's pretty heavy to wield that thing. But if you're higher, then it's extremely light. Same thing goes with your system control authority. At first you can pretty much just do simple spells like we saw with what Yujo did earlier with having that little flower thing and lighting it up. But of course, as you grow and level it up, you can do higher level skill, higher level spells like we saw with Alice's sister, what she did with reviving Yujo, as well as other stuff. He says that's similar to normal games, levels and all that stuff with magic and everything, but the system in this game is never been in any previous MVRMO like SAO or ALO. So we then get to Kirito. He's training with his senpai, or with his master. Or actually, right before that, he talks about how actually it seems like if you have the confidence if you have enough confidence and ego, you can pretty much almost break the system in a way. Because he says that that if you have the confidence to win, like he brings up Lilo Senpai, his his mentor, that she has, since she has been growing, since she has had like high class swordsman trained since she was a kid, she has the confidence that she can probably beat anybody, which hence why she is so high level. So say if like Kanye West was somehow got to ALO, that man could probably beat anything in just one punch because we know how egotistical he is. So that's pretty interesting. So like I said, if you have the confidence and your ego is high that you can win, you can pretty much break the system and break the system to your will if you have the strength and ego and the confidence to do so. Which that's definitely very intriguing. So we then see Kirito and Leo's training. At first I thought they were using lightsabers because both their swords were glowing, but they just used wooden swords. So they got the art and animation here, fucking phenomenal. Great stuff. She actually also uses a whip midway through the fight, which is also pretty interesting. Kirito manages to dodge most of these attacks. He blocks like the last tap, but his sword ends up getting flying out of his hand, so he lost. And she says, that's expected of you, Leo Senpai. He's like, yeah, but I know you're high or something. I know you're high. I know you're holding back from me. He's like, oh. And the look on Kirito's face, he's just like, oh shit. And he goes on about how that there's more to this Aincrad style than you're letting on, Kirito. Like, she knows Kirito's high and stuff, which is probably why, hence why I think I said that, probably the reason why Kirito hasn't been able to beat her is probably because he is holding back. Because let's say Kirito was fighting against her the same way he fought against that goblin leader a few episodes back, or against that boss where the birth of the dual wielding happened, he could probably beat her if he was fighting as hard as he was then. But since that seems to be like almost at near-death circumstances when Kirito fights that hard, that's probably why he hasn't been able to really, get any hits on her, and probably that he is probably holding back a little bit more than he probably should be against her, probably to not, I don't know, blow his cover or something, I don't know. And she said that, that she also says that, fighting you, since I made you my page for like about a year, I've realized how unrefined my sword skills is. Like, oh no, Lilo, no, you're a great sword. It's like, please, don't be so much. And she says that that I cannot beat this one guy. The first scene, his name is Volo, and like when you see him, he looks straight out of Food Wars or something. The flames are behind him. You can tell he's a head honcho, the badass of all badasses, the I will beat you one day guy that like anyone who was not trying to settle there. And she says that it's not because of my sword skills that why I can't beat it. It's my overall confidence that I can't beat it. Hence, so this is kind of back to like a whole like Kirito said that if you have the confidence, you could break the law of this world. Hence why part of the reason why Lilo cannot beat this guy is because she does not have the confidence within herself to beat him. So that's pretty interesting. And so from there, we then see Kirito kind of like sneak back into the dorms, and he like sneaks in there, looks at the window, and it's like sees anyone there, no one's there. And he's like takes a sigh of relief, and I'm like, she's hiding behind there. She's like what? She's like hiding behind the wall right there. And he goes in there, and bam, there she is, the headmaster of this dorm, and she's like, you're 37 minutes past curfew, kid. I was like, my master actually told me to stay out a little bit later to do some training. He's like, I guess so be it, but you think this is just a normal excuse for you to break curfew, doesn't it, kid? He's like, no. She's like, alright, dinner's in 17 minutes, don't be late. So he gets over so we see him at dinner, he's enjoying food, and then behind him, you got the most cliche douchebags you've ever seen, anime. Like, they legit look like they're straight out ripped out of Food Wars, out of like Black Clover or something. Like, you can just tell by their hair and their demeanor, like, they just reek of douchebag. And they're like, we worked hard to clean this place, and yet here these pages are, like, roasting and merely eating. Oh, yes, well, man, I bet they have their own problems that we couldn't even fathom. Oh, yes, these cherry-picked commoners being printed. And you're just like, don't let him get to you, Kirito. And you can just look at Kirito. He wants to beat the shit out of these clowns, as do I. So, and Yuzo asks, like, yo, hey man, how's your car, by the way? Oh yeah, it's doing pretty well. It should be done by Kirito. He's like, cool. And then we get to see that one dude with the yellow hair in the back just going, I guess because Kirito didn't get under Kirito's skin, he's pissed. I don't know, but We see Kirito, you know, we see his garden. Looks pretty good, all things considered. I mean, they're not full-blown flowers yet. They're still in the blooming period right now. So usually, oh wow, man, those are really starting to come together. There's coming together. He's like, oh yeah, well, I've messed up 3 other times, so hopefully this time they actually, you know, bloom this time in time for graduation. And it's like, you know what, I'm gonna go get some water. And usually asks him like, okay, dude, what would you do if you did gain your memory? Because the other says like, you know, oh hey man, maybe you were a gardener, maybe your original calling was a gardener. It's like, oh yeah, could have been. And you what? So he says, I don't know, man. And usually I was like, look, man, you're only, you know, joining me on becoming a knight just to keep me company, right? If you get your memories, you're just gonna go home, right? And again, the like, like, look, man, I know I was a swordsman. That thing is certain. So I'm not leaving here until I graduate. Because what's sort of one strive to become a knight? It's like, all right. And then Yuzo has the whole speech where it's like, oh, I am weak. I'm only here because of you. Yada yada yada. Like, I swear to God, I've heard this speech so many times in anime. It's getting kind of ridiculous right now. Kirito says, look, man, you're strong. You're good. So, yo, Kirito reassures him and all that. And then you got those 2 assholes from earlier listening into their conversation from a window. Why? Like, what is their beef with Kirito? Is it because they're those rich folk that have a silver spoon jammed up their ass? That they look down upon these commoners? Even though Kirito could probably wipe the floor above them with one arm? So, yeah. Anyway, so, and right, so one thing I forgot to mention, after Kirito and Lilo were training, after they were done training, she asked them, like, you know, she asked Kirito, like, to teach her everything she knows about the Iron Crest, everything he has, about to help her, of course, you know, defeat Volo. And he says, alright, I'll do it, but can we wait till tomorrow? It's like, but isn't tomorrow the day of rest? Or she says, isn't tomorrow the day of rest? He's like, oh, this isn't training, this is a gift to you, a gift. So, alright, okay, whatever. So, we're then we have this blacksmith shop where he's like, these black stones are supposed to last 3 years, but yet they only last a year. So his kid's like, oh, sorry, and he goes on and on about metals and shit. And we get this flashback to where Kirito, after they were done and we finally did chop down the tree, Kirito cut off a piece of the branch and gave it to this blacksmith to craft a sword out of it, which he said, which the sword is now finished. And so he pulls out the sword, he's like, alright, he's like, young man, we haven't discussed payment, have we? He's like, oh shit. He was like, don't worry, man, I brought all my money with me, so we're good. And he says, you know, I'll consider letting you get this thing free of charge if you can swing this beast. Because after I was finished crafting, it actually got heavier. It's like, alright. So he unwraps it from the thing, and then we just see the sword. Which, first, I gotta say, I love his sword. It looks so fucking bad. The Kirito kind of looks at it for a minute. You're just like, what's wrong, man? He's like, nothing. So I don't know if it's just because the sword because I don't know if he's just admiring the craftsmanship of the actual sword, or maybe it reminds him of his SAO sword, or I don't know, maybe the sword's talking to him or something. I mean, an alternative, Len's gun was straight up talking to her, so I don't know, maybe his sword is too. Just like, they never explain why her gun was talking to her. They never explain that, and I don't know why they put it in there. Whatever the case may be on that. So what he pulls the sword out of it and starts swinging it around a couple times, and it's like, alright, you know, as I promised, the sword is yours. So he's like, alright, man, I'm gonna take a couple of test swings with this. He's like, alright, don't be late for dinner. So he goes over to like this little forest area, does a couple of test swings. He's like, alright, let me test this out. And so he does a sword skill. He says that I could only do a 2-hit sword skill with the one practice sword, but I can do a 5-hit sword skill with this one. I couldn't even do that with the blue one he was wielding earlier. So, alright. And so he's like, alright, I keep my promise to Lilo to, like, you know, show him the best of his Ironclads are, which I'm curious if he's gonna show her any dual wielding, because I'm pretty sure, because we know Kirito loves dual wielding, so I'm curious if that's gonna be in, if we're gonna see some dual wielding action when that happens. But whatever the case may be, we see him try to do another one, but he ends up tripping on himself. We see this dude watching from a distance, and he comes in closer, and when he, like, slips, like, some dirt gets on his shirt, and stuff like this is why you should never wear white, or white should never be the primary color when you go outside, because of stuff like this, because that can stuff it very easily stain very quickly. And we found that it's actually Volo. He was actually watching Kirito. He's like, oh shit, sorry, grand disciple Volo. Like the man has some long ass name, a long ass title with his name. And he says, you're Lilo's page, right? He says, yes, sir. You know it's illegal for you to, just do some training on days of rest, right? He's like, oh, I wasn't training. I was just testing out my new sword. I couldn't wait to start. He's like, ah. But those were some pretty powerful swings for some test strikes, right? He says, man, you're just like me. Trying to contrive of any reason to carry your sword, even on days of rest. So, we are one and the same when it comes to that. He's like, so I'll look over this. Like, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. He's like, oh, it's too soon to say thank me. I never said I'd forgive you for this. He points to the stain on his shirt. Even though Kirito had no point, he learned dirt just like, whatever. So we get to like the stadium where they're actually going to duel it out, and Yujo with Lino, they show up, and he's like, Kirito, like, what's wrong? And he says, he's just like, you not being so for a year is a miracle, and he says, well, that's why I have a great partner. And so he says, and she's like, what's the meaning of this, Volo? Why are you doing this? He's like, he was kind of disrespectful for me earlier, referring to the stain. Well, just like she points out, because next time we see him, his shirt's completely clean. So I guess he got it washed right before this, so did that really matter about the stain? I don't know. Anyway, so he's like, yeah, so what the show, and since it wasn't about, I didn't want to punish him, I thought it was only nice, fair for us to spar it out. He's like, and she's like, what's the rules of your duel? He says, like, I thought since we're using real swords, I thought we were going to use, stop short. He says, I don't do stop short from my fight. It always ends with anyone getting the first point. And she says, like, Kirito's never been a real fight with real sword, and it's just both of us have to consent. If Kirito, you want to do stop short, then we'll do stop short. It's like, I'll let you decide since I'm the one being punched here. And she says, don't do it, Kirito. He's too powerful. It's too dangerous. Yada 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 yada. And that's when you have to stand where Kirito says, you know what, man? I'll let you choose the stipulations. And so overall, damn good episode. Great art and animation. Great music. Great voice acting. Definitely interesting on what this fight's going to bring out next week. This fight probably will turn out like how when Soma fought the first seed in Food Wars Season 3. I still need to get caught up with Food Wars. I'm still lagging behind on that one. Soma pretty much got demolished when they actually tested the food and everyone went with him over Soma. So over this, I feel like Kirito's probably gonna put on a decent fight. Probably gonna he's gonna make the dude sweat a little bit while they're dueling it out. Will Kirito end up winning? Probably not, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did. So yeah, overall I give this episode an 8.5 out of 10, so hope you all enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new, follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you feel like it, links down in the description box below, and as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.